Welcome to the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the Almighty B-Live, the Money Man, Scotty D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddy Kool. And without any further ado, here they are, the Sports Bros. Hey, what's going on, world? This be your boy, Eddy Kool, a.k.a. the HOC, head of creative here at the Sports Bros Podcast, and episode number 53 is all up in your ear, your ears, some little things, little flappers. You know, like Paul Feinbaum, he got the world's biggest ears in the industry. But in the words of my co-host, the Almighty B-Live, I digress. All right, just to let you guys know, right now we are running too wide. We usually have three of us here today, but the Money Man Scotty D won't be with us, but trust and believe he'll be back soon. All right, Scotty D, we waiting on you, buddy. All right, and speaking of my other co-host, the one, the only, the Almighty B-Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? Again, has much bigger meaning right now. But definitely, Scotty D actually held it down for us for a podcast while me and the head of creative were over in San Diego, while my man was receiving his bachelor's degree in journalism and mass communication. So you know what?
Yes,
so Scotty D wanted to take the week off, and we was like, hey, we got your back.
Yeah.
And so no doubt upon that, and it gives me the pleasure and the opportunity to talk trash about him, and he can say nothing back. Yes, this moment has come. I can't wait. Now let's play it. Scotty D, you already know, man. Eddy Kool, let's get it.
All right, guys, we ain't gonna waste no more time. We got too wide, and we running all kind of routes, but we're gonna try our best not to bump into each other. All right, guys, so here we go. As first reported last week, the Summer Olympics, they was like, nope, not going to happen this year. But as a few days ago, they said, you know what? We're going to run this back. But this time in 2021. And they will be going down during the summer months of July and August. The dates more apropos would be July 23rd from August the 8th. Now, B-Live, from my understanding, the athletes that qualified, their standing is still good. And they're going to keep the torch lit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The torch will stay in Tokyo. And just a couple of statements from the IOC, the International Olympic Committee. They made the move to protect the health of the athletes and everyone involved, and to support the containment of the COVID-19 virus, to safeguard the interests of the athletes and of Olympic sport, and, of course, the global international sports calendar, where that third part, because, you know, logistics is a major thing. There are reasons why events are scheduled at this particular moment, at this particular time, because a lot of different events have their own. They have their yearly, commitment. Some of them every 2 years, every 4 years, so on and so forth. And so, like, this move that they made, again, the Olympics, I don't think there's anything that is much bigger than the Olympics when it comes to on the global scale. So the ability to make this move and to keep the integrity of the Olympic Games and what it does for the global economy, as well as everything that Tokyo has done to put this together. This is a very good move. You'll hear some media personalities say that they were a little late when it came to it, and I want to disagree. I want to disagree because a lot of people want to jump the gun and protect and do this and everything like that. The Olympics, they're a whole entire different breed. So when the initial outlook came out when it came to the COVID-19 virus was that it was going to be in line with the flu season, you first started hearing about in December, January, February, March, and this would be right around that point in time where you would think that it would start to fall off and taper off. Well, because this is something that we haven't really experienced before. I mean, we've experienced other coronaviruses in the past. As you we're talking about your MERS, SARS, swine flu, et cetera, et cetera. Swine flu H1N1, and the devastating impact that it's had. Um, this still is unprecedented territory, and so I there's so many factors that go in. A lot of commitments have already been made. Planes been booked, hotels been booked, the infrastructure's been built. Tokyo, they've spent billions of dollars building new facilities to accommodate the Olympics, and it happens everywhere. Like just from personal experience, like I watched Atlanta in 1996 transform to bring the Olympics there. Like it's a complete transformation, complete stadium built.
The Olympic Village, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
So a lot of money is invested into it. And you will hear me say money, and a lot of people say, "Oh, you can't value life and health though with like you can't value that. You can't put in dollar figure on that." Yes, you're absolutely right, and I agree with that. At the same note, I will also say that the economic impact will have a trickle down effect. And I'm still an advocate for like, hey, I want to get back to work. So,
oh man, oh my God.
So it's one of those things. I get it. We want human health and life should be the top of the spectrum, but you got to understand that in order to maintain that life and that health, you got to make money, and we don't want to get to the point where like it's an economic pandemic that we can't return from. Hopefully, small businesses and even large businesses will be able to recover from this and be able to reopen their doors. But I could tell you right now, there will be casualties with this. So that's why when people say that it took the Olympic committee a while to postpone this and move it a year, there's still a lot of factors involved. But I'm glad at the end of the day, things got moved. It was a process, and we'll be able to see the Olympics in 2021.
Yep, and just like you said, B Live, you also have to factor in, like everybody's like, oh, it's taking forever. I mean, just like we said, parts of the area where the events will be going on, a lot of that is undergone transformation, and you know what that takes: money and time. Okay, then also on top of that, plans have been made, fights have been booked. Like everything is still set in stone, and for them to hold this over from now until next year is going to be quite challenged. And me and you, off air, we did have a conversation. We said, hey, this is a global health pandemic, but it is also a global financial pandemic, an economic pandemic. So it's between hurting pockets and health is kind of like, okay, well, I would think, that the IOC, they probably looked at every possibility, okay, between canceling them all together or moving it a year up. So that, that gives, time for this whole COVID-19 thing to pass through, do what it's supposed to do, find cures, make sure that the economy can get back up to where it's going, the global economy, and then it'll be business as usual. But as for right now, man, this is the best decision as far as pushing the Olympics from this year to next year.
And then so it also gives athletes chance to sort of take this time off, practice social distancing, and like, because one of the main concerns you heard from a lot of the sports figures, the participants that will be in the Olympics, they were like, we training for the Olympics is a year-round thing. It's not something
Yeah.
that you just pick up and all right, I'm going to the Olympics next month. I'm gonna start to no. It's a year-round thing. These are the best athletes in the world. So now this is a chance right now, essentially just to spend time with family, practice social distancing, just do what we need to do to make it through these challenging times, and then we can pick back up when this all passes. And prayers go out to everyone, because at the end of the day, we want this to pass, and we grow stronger, closer, and we rebuild and do what we need to do.
Yep, that's it, man. That's the main thing. Pray, everybody stay prayed up and love your family, man, because you never know. You never know. Joe Diffie is country's music star. Joe Diffie is the latest victim of this here coronavirus, man. Think it's a game. Think it's a joke. Stay your butt home if you want to live. Just do what's being asked of you. And this thing is being stretched out to the 30th of April. Yeah, so the 30th of April, and we'll probably find some sense of normality. But it's the world is ever changing. The world is ever changing, and this COVID-19 is, hey, sometimes make us think, hey, those things we take for granted, now we go from, oh Lord, I don't want it now. Like now we go from that to I wish when, growing impatient. But on a side note, man, use this time to be creative and occupy your mind and find something to do. And just like me, I'm over just cleaning up the basement, cleaning up the house, and I'm downloading apps. I'm trying to figure out how to make a whole music studio on my cell phone. I'm in that tinkering mode again. The first week and a half, I was like, I don't know what to do. But if it wasn't for this podcast and other things, I'd probably lose my rabbit
ass. Facts.
Yep. And so, we got Olympics 2021 next year. Speaking of scheduled events, the NFL draft will take place as expected April 23rd and the 25th. And Roger Goodell, he warned against anybody publicly criticizing his decision. You know what? I was watching the sports show on ESPN, and one of the Marcus Spears, love Marcus Spears, man. I can't wait till he gets his own podcast or radio show. He's always worth a listen, man. Marcus Spears said best, it doesn't affect the draft picks 1 through 5. It affects those guys in the late round, because from a scouting standpoint, now you're at a disadvantage to where you can't see somebody from like a McNeese State or a Texas A&M or a North Carolina A&T or a small school or something like that, because usually be like around this time of the year, they're burning up those frequent flyer miles to go to those places to scout that talent. And I think that would be the only downfall that this COVID-19 outbreak has had on the scouting process. And a lot of people have been saying, like, I think like a lot of general managers, they have a lot to say about it, but then it goes to the classification. Hey, if you own your job, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But then again, when it comes to conducting these interviews and seeing people and doing the necessary work what's the word I'm looking for? Help me, be like.
I'm trying. I know where you're trying to go with it, but
yeah, we gonna pull a car to the road. All right, to do the necessary work, do the intel research, whatever you want to call it, to make sure that okay, hey, this guy could be a good pick. So I think Be Live in the long run, this hurts those 4th, 5th, and 6th rounders.
Yeah, it's almost like you're at that point in time after the first, second, and third round, of course, as you're alluding to. You've seen the major players. You've seen the high profile guys, the mock drafts that Mel Kiper Jr. That puts together, Todd McShay.
Yeah.
And you see those major players, and they try their best to dig into the mid-level players as well to see that talent. But there's talent out there that we just don't see. And
Nope.
Granted, the three of us here at the Sports Bros podcast, we don't divulge that deep into the NFL. We want to, but do we have the resources to do so? We're at this point in time in our careers, we're not at that level just yet. I say just yet because we're gonna get there. I'm trying to tell you, when we get these press credentials and we start making some money and some moves, trust and believe we're gonna have that intel for you. I can't wait. I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't wait for that day. Three guys, fans. We're going to be fans. We're not going to be commentators.
Mm-mm.
We're going to be fans. Now, we're going to be professionals in the best way possible to keep our press credentials, but we're going to be fans, and we're going to enjoy it, and we're going to give you that perspective that nobody else ever does. But it's one of those things, yeah, as you spoke of, that it's going to the rest of the rounds is going to be a shot in the dark. And it's going to be sort of like, let me see. I need a cornerback, Russian roulette.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with this guy.
From New Mexico State.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
Who is this guy? But, hey, I do believe at this point in time, because it's a different perspective. Right now, these general managers of the NFL, I'm pretty sure they're still ahead of the game, as opposed to seeing pro days at colleges, and like you've seen a little bit of the combine, but the pro days is really where it's at and where you start seeing some of the talent that you're not able to get this year. But I can tell you right now, general managers, they're getting phone calls left and right. They're getting video packages from I'm going to tell you right now, they better from athletic directors all across the country. If these athletic directors and football coaches and personnel directors from these colleges aren't putting together video packages and sending them off to all 32 teams and putting together building up these prospects, I don't know what's wrong with them, because I don't know.
They need to be fired.
Right. That should be their number one job right now, because you didn't have the pro day. Put together these video packages. And I'm talking about put together. I want some Oscar-worthy productions. I want the hype music behind it. Give me the 360 slow-mo if you can. I don't know what to do right now with it, but this is your number one job, and this goes directly into recruiting, is to make your player look like a absolute rock star. And so, I mean, this is my thinking. I'm hoping that this is the thinking of these $1 million general managers of NFL franchises and these recruiting directors and personnel directors and athletic directors for these colleges out here. Hey, if you're not doing it yet, you have what was it again? How many days we got until the NFL draft?
Let's see.
Is it April 23rd?
Yeah, April, you got till April 23rd, which is not even.
Yeah, you got 24 days.
You got 24 days.
Hey, if you ain't been doing it yet, and you're first time listener to the Sports Bros podcast, you heard it from your boy, the Almighty. Be live. Get on your job.
Do better.
I'm trying to tell you, but this is that opportunity. Yes, it's different, but you can still utilize a lot of resources out there to get information on these players. We're in a wonderful time when it comes to shared information, when it comes to like being able to access stuff you would never be able to access. 30, 40 years ago, you wouldn't have game film from McNeese State University or Division III school. I don't know. I don't know where that was the first name that came to mind. But
that's the Cowboys, McNeese State. Cowboys.
So,
I think this is in Louisiana, Texas.
I couldn't tell you any of that. But like we have the luxury of technology and information at our fingertips. This would be an amazing time just to pull that together. Hey, let's get it. Carolina Panthers, if you need an intern to work through this process to help you with the draft process, hear your boy out right here. I wouldn't.
Willing to help out. Willing to help
I ain't got
out.
nothing else to do. Just say.
I also look at it like this, man. Like now's the time for those people that work in like the athletic department, the brand department, the video marketing department. Hey, go ahead and start putting things together and making sure. Now's the time you really want to earn your keep, because think about it, B-Live. A lot of jobs gonna be on the line between now and draft day. Yeah, a lot of jobs are going to be on the line between now and draft day, because now, it seems, okay, now who really wants to see that, little Jordan Humphrey, ain't that the boy?
Yeah.
Little Jordan Humphrey. I don't know what the hell his mama and dad was thinking. See that he gets his, he gets it, he gets more eyes on him. And like you said, be like, we live in a day and time where if the kids, technically, all schools are closed, right? All schools are closed.
Yeah.
But now schools and colleges are closed. But if you can access, take it from me. I graduated from an online school, all right? That should not stop you from doing what you got to do to get the job done, okay? I earned my degree, okay? 4 years sitting up there, late nights, typing papers, falling asleep, slobbering, getting in arguments, doing all this kind of stuff. Got to rework my whole schedule around, but the sweet joy of walking across that stage and getting that degree, one of the best feelings in the world. So I feel that now is the time for them to earn their keep and you know what? This ain't the end of it. We're going to put it together. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make a young man's dream come true of achieving his goal and playing in the NFL. And so Roger Goodell said, look, you ain't fit to criticize me publicly because I'm going to get you.
Yeah, and speaking of names, when you talk about Lil Jordan, the first thing that jumped in my mind was, I don't know if you heard about it, the coldest Crawford.
Yeah, the coldest.
The coldest.
Yeah, the coldest.
The coldest middle name to ever do it. The coldest.
The coldest
to ever do it. Crawford.
You know how much pressure that is to put on somebody? So his mom and dad would walk up one day and say, you know what, we gonna name him the coldest to ever do it, Crawford. You mean tell me you named your baby out on a phrase, one of the best phrases ever, the coldest to ever do it. We use it a lot. Hey man, he wanted the coldest to ever do it. Well, the coldest better be the coldest. See, that's a lot to live up to. And this is mom and dad's fault.
Well, I mean, he's made it this far. Just like I said, because heck, there ain't much else to talk about. He is a 3-star recruit according to 24/7 Sports. He is the 12th ranked wide receiver in the state of Louisiana, the 38th ranked wide receiver in the nation, and he has committed to. Hold on, wait a minute. Sorry, but just give me a moment. Oh boy, this is tough. He has committed to. Just give me a second. You understand? He has committed to your current national champions, the LSU Tigers.
The Tiger King.
The reason why it was so hard to say is because I spent an entire year quoting Paul Heyman when it comes to the reigning, defending, undisputed. But that's no longer my Clemson Tigers. All right, moving on. All right, I digress. Eddy Kool, Amtrak, and I don't want to talk about it anymore.
All roads lead to Dabo.
Yes, sir. You know it.
had to get it out.
I had to.
I'm glad I can say all roads lead to Dabo with my Carolina Gamecock shirt. It's like a shield of deflection. In case you guys don't know, there's a rivalry, 100-year rivalry between myself and the Almighty B-Live. He represents the Clemson Tigers, the Tiger Kings up there in good old Clemson, South Carolina. And I represent the almighty University of South Carolina Gamecocks, the USC. Yeah. I mean, but for the past, 10, 15 years, it's been back and forth. We've been good, they've been bad. They've been good, we've been bad, and right now we stink. I ain't gonna lie to you. STANK, we stink.
It's all right. Like before our
it ain't all right.
Before our 6 years of domination, y'all did beat us 5 years in a row. So I mean, it's been lopsided, but we're definitely not we're definitely it's gonna be a minute. It's gonna be a minute.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while, man. It's just I'm just over here looking at the town. I'm like, oh Lord, have mercy, what is going on? I mean, one of the shining moments last year was beating Georgia, at home. Yeah. So I mean, while we're in California, it was funny. So we're in California, the game is on. Now I know it's from the West Coast, so it's like what, 10 o'clock at this point.
That sounds about right.
Might have been earlier than that. So this is like what overtime with fourth. We've been in overtime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went upstairs to go use the bathroom. Okay, we fam. I had to go upstairs to use the bathroom. And her be out downstairs. Oh. So I'm on the toilet like what happened? What happened? So went ahead and did finish my business. Washed my hands because you got to wash your hands, especially now more than ever. And come to see my South Carolina Gamecocks beat the Georgia Bulldogs, and it was a celebration. That's sad. It was a celebration that entire set. Be like, we got to get back out there, man. We got to get back out there.
Without question, bro. All right.
Yeah, once this match passed, we got to get back up there. But Roger Goodell said, look, don't be challenging nothing. I'm judge, jury, and executioner. I mean, I get it, but it's kind of like, Roger, people, when it comes to you, Roger, you should know people always gonna have something to say.
Well, with him, and it's same situation that we talked about with the Olympics. There's a lot of investment when it goes to the NFL season, and the NFL draft is part of that. And it's one of those things where they've analyzed, they've looked at it, and they're like, we can have the NFL draft without all the hoopla and all this other stuff. Like at the end of the day, yes, you a lot of analytics. You look at pro days and stuff like that, but we have so much that we can look at that.
Yep.
At this point in time, let's get these guys drafted. Let's move on so that when the time comes, we can reopen the season. And I can tell you right now, the way it's going to be hesitant at first. Like I could tell you that this is nowhere near. We've not even felt the full effect. Like right now, we have the stay-at-home orders and everything. It's going to take a minute before everybody says, "Oh, all right, we're just going to gather 80,000 people together in a football stadium." It's going to be a little tough. Not going to lie to you, I'm going to be one of them. I'm getting cabin fever like hell right now. I need to see something. But
dude, let me tell you what I did. I went and walked around the neighborhood like 5 times for like 2 hours the other day. I'm like, oh, I didn't know this was over here. Oh, they're doing this. Oh, what you look at this? Yeah, that was me the other morning. Like, yeah, I guess you know me be like, you know how we was born in 2004. Can't stay home. Who staying home? Not us.
But yeah,
not us, man. We were out and about. But yeah, man, it's just
that ain't never changed for me.
No, that never changed me either. I mean, yeah, I had that. I was living in New Hampshire for 4 years, and I went out no sparingly. But boy, when I got back home, woo, back together.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, with the NFL draft, as much as you don't want to disrupt anything, you want to keep everything status quo. You look at all the analytics. You look at the effects, like because right now, Kurt Herbstreit said something that resonated throughout the football world. He said he doesn't expect to see football in 2020, especially on the college level, because right now the college level is suffering way more than the NFL level, because simply put, like right now, this would be your spring games.
Yep,
This time of year will
Mm-hmm.
be your spring game. This is where you start really establishing who's going to be your starting quarterback, your starters, and all your skill positions and everything. And then the spring games also is a showcase to the rest of the world and also the future recruits. You've got your players that are enrolled early, and they get to finally don on the team colors and everything like that. So right now, your spring practices, your spring workouts for college are being greatly affected. So it's not too far-fetched. When it comes to the pro levels, though, it's one of those things that these guys are professionals. They better have a freaking gym in their house.
They're going to find a way. They're going to find a way.
Of something. Just saying.
Matter of fact, yeah, I saw a clip of Jameis Winston on Bleacher Report. He working out with some football pads, and he still got his Tampa Bay helmet. Yeah. So, he's still working out and, making it do what it do. And there was no kind of social distancing, but, I digress. He got money, so he can find the cure. It'll be easy for him. Yeah, so he was doing that. He was pushing cars and stuff. So, a lot of these athletes, they're still finding ways to, you can if you want a way, you can always find a way. You know what I mean? You can always find a way to do what you want to do. And so, so athletes are really, really finding a way. And, I remember seeing that this morning about Kurt Hershey saying, not seeing no college football. I'm over like, I don't it's kind of like, it's one of those things where you hear about it, but it's like, okay, you say that, but it really won't hit until,
it actually hit.
August. Yeah, August comes around. And, we ain't got that Thursday night game between, Marshall and Akron or something like that. And then, the big marquee games between Clemson and somebody, and Alabama and somebody and LSU and somebody. Like, wait a minute, the leaves are changing colors, but Williams Bryce is empty. So it's definitely, it'll be scary as hell. I'm going to go ahead and say it. It'll be scary. It'll be different. Like, we have it like, historically speaking, I think, every 100 years we go through something. And this is just me, no conspiracy theories, but I'd be like every 100 years we go through something. And, the last time seasons were canceled was back in the 40s when, the world was at war. So now we weren't alive back then.
Right.
But now we kind of see like, here it is. Okay, it's this, recording on Monday, which is the 30th, but the 31st, okay, we're about to go into April and, there's no baseball being played. There's no, because right now we would be at that week break before they would wrap up March Madness, correct? Yep. Yeah. And then what else? And no Indy 500. And it's definitely challenging, man. Speaking of challenging, in case you ever heard, James Dolan, a guy who we gave a lot of hell on this show, he tested positive for COVID-19, and also Doris Burke tested for positive for COVID-19. A disclaimer: we don't wish that on nobody,
not at all.
As much hell as Scotty D gives Doris, and as much hell me and B-Live collectively give James Dolan, we would rather him break a toe and her sprain an ankle than to have this thing called COVID-19.
Right.
Yeah. We definitely.
Both toes and a kneecap.
And a kneecap. Yeah. You can bounce back. In 3 to 5 days, you bounce back from that, man. But the way this COVID-19, especially in New York, man. I've heard. I haven't seen anything. But I heard it's getting real hairy in New York, man. It's getting real crazy in New York.
Yeah, it's on an exponential level in New York, and my sister stays there. I've been keeping in contact with her, so she's doing fine and everything like that. I mean, and again, it's a pandemic, and we're just trying to cope with it as best as possible. It's just the timing is really bad. Like, cause also in Louisiana, they're going through it a lot because they had their annual Mardi Gras celebration before it really hit mainstream that COVID-19 was a big deal. So the amount of people that would just gather together at one point in time, and then guess what? Oh yeah, well, you got it, and you got it too. So it's a hotbed. But at the same note, like prayers go out to everybody. We do not wish ill will towards anybody. We could talk a lot of trash about James Dolan, and there's a lot to talk about.
No.
And Scotty D really doesn't like Doris Burke, but again, we do not wish ill will to any one of them. And so, and on a lighter note, I'm actually gonna steal it from Eddy Kool, because good news. Marcus Smart, Rudy Gobert, Donavan Mitchell, they're clear. One of the first that made, like, of course, Rudy Gobert. He will always be known for that. Like, he was the one that really broke the sports world. And now that they are healed, they are clear of it. That is outstanding news, and that it's one of those things that it gives us that, like, hey, all right, we're on the other side of this thing. We're still going through it. We got a ways to go, but knowing that we can begin the other side of it, the rebuilding process, getting back to our normal lives. So very glad to hear that. We wish James Dolan, Doris Burke, to get back healthy and to get back to annoying the crap out of us. All right, Eddy Kool.
Yeah, exactly. So, shout out to everybody that has it, and that's one thing. That's one thing I hate about the media is, like, you don't hear the other side. The good coming out of it. Like, okay, this has happened, but then they show no signs, and so prayers go out to everybody, man. Stick by each other, call and check on each other, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It is crazy.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and lovely Miss Button for her introduction to our favorite section of the show, the choices of the voices. You heard the woman shade line. This is our favorite part of the show, where we rant, rave, and hoot and holler about what you guys got to say, your answers to the questions that we ask, the choices of the voices.
Oh man, that has you've got to find that piece. You have to find that piece just so that people can hear that, because you didn't include that in the original recording, did you?
I took it out.
Oh,
best believe I don't know. It might be an Easter egg on the end of the episode, but since I got some time, I might be able to put some best of and outtakes packages, because I ain't got nothing but.
That's like, it's one of those things that one right there, we reference it so many times that people are like, what are they talking about? You got to be like, this is what we do behind the scenes of the sport, and this did not make the cutting room floor.
Yeah, Now here's the thing, listeners. Okay, we usually have a conference call via Facebook. We talk, have a little pre-production meeting, and then after that, probably about maybe 5 to 6 minutes later, we record and we go live. Now, we might have an additional 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, we doing this, we doing that, and to discuss a few things, and then some things are like, what the hell? And we sometimes start the show hot because something we said before I edited and before we started rolling. So there's a lot of 53 episodes, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. You got 53 episodes, and we done said a lot of crazy stuff. A lot of crazy stuff. From intro botches to you can find me botches. I mean, just you thought that Botchamania was something on YouTube. You ain't not putting together this greatest hits package. It's gonna be funny. Coming soon, bonus content on the Sports Bros podcast. All right. This week's question was, we're talking about Tom Brady. Mr. Tom Edward Patrick Brady, I think that's the name. Tom Brady, and the best, speaking of best of, the best of Tom Brady. Memorable moments in the 20-year career of Tom Brady. Over acting like he retired. But
should be. My bad. I apologize for my outburst.
And from the looks of it, it's a lot. It's a lot because at one point I'm like, this might just be a whole Choices of the Voices show, but I digress. Words be loud. All right, here we go. Mark Olds said when he got injured. I remember that game. Bernard Pollard. I think that hit on Tom Brady by Bernard Pollard changed the way that quarterbacks. Changed the way that defenders can tackle quarterbacks. Gotta be waist up. Anything below the knees gonna get you in trouble.
That definitely changed the rules of the game and protected the quarterback a little bit more. And now you're seeing record-breaking numbers. And so it's unfortunate that somebody has to get hurt to bring up better rules and protection and everything like that. But it's understandable. And again, we don't condone somebody getting hurt. And then also on top of that, the answers from the Choices of the Voices, we do not necessarily condone nor all that other legal stuff that people like to say. I mean, I might get a good chuckle off the air, but we don't want anybody really to get hurt. But then again, I mean, Tom Brady does have his fair share of haters. I'm one of them, and you'll see by my answer coming up. But yeah, Mark Olds, when he got injured, it was memorable because it changed the game. It definitely changed the game.
That's when Matt Castle was able to come in and guide the team to a 10-6 record. And I think they didn't even make the playoffs that year, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I mean, they won, but didn't really amount to nothing. All right, we got Katie Capitano Smalls, Beast Ninja. What's going on, Katie? She said it's comebacks in tough games and drive to win even when far behind. Example, Super Bowl versus Atlanta when the Patriots were losing 28-3, which was a few days ago. Remember 328.
Never forget.
I know a lot of it was a team effort, but a lot of quarterbacks would have cracked under pressure, and how he took a lot less money to help his team out. That's another reason why I'm not mad at Tom Brady's getting him some money, because he has sacrificed a lot for the betterment of the team. But I guess he's at a point of his life, like, you know what, this is fine and all. I want to make some money too.
Man, I'm not trying to hear that. Tom Brady, I'm gonna pull it up. Okay. I'm gonna pull it up because y'all just think that Tom Brady made all of these wonderful sacrifices and all this other stuff, and then you got to realize that his wife makes more money than he does. Giselle is worth $450 million. Tom Brady's okay.
Ain't that about the size of Mike Trout's contract? Yeah.
Right. The Brady. I'm gonna say this: the Bunchen household is perfectly fine. Tom Brady didn't make all these sacrifices. I mean, granted, yes, you can say it that way, but they got plenty of money. It'd be something else if I decided not to take $1 million contract and went with $500,000 so I could bring on Eddy Kool and have him a $500,000 contract to do this sports thing together, because people see this personality and I know that I am the greatest. That's why I'm the almighty one.
You are telling your sanity right about now. We are lucky to have man, oh man.
Did it get a little thick in here?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little freaking bit. Oh man, you're a mess.
Oh man, Amtrak this thing.
Craig Burns, what's going on, Craig Burns? He said the Atlanta comeback is obvious. Yep. So I'll give you two others that stick out to me. Super Bowl 49, 2 fourth quarter touchdown passes, and the overtime versus the Chiefs in the 2019 AFC title game. 3 straight 3rd and 10 conversions. Hey, I mean, yep, that's a good one, Craig. That's a good one, Craig. He's a Patriots fan as well, too. A lot of folks on here are Patriots fans. There's There's a thing. So just to let you know. But hey, man, we glad they showed up and showed out for this week's edition of the Choice of the Voice. Oh, we're not done yet. Here comes Rodney, a Dolphins fan, to throw the proverbial monkey wrench in it. He said the Miami Miracle. Dolphins take home field advantage away from Patriots playoff run with some Hail Mary lateral theatrics, one of the best plays of all time. Later in the week, when asked about playoff seeding and the late loss to Miami, he straight up told the media that the loss didn't count. Douchery at its finest, but he's still the GOAT, though.
He's like, the seedings don't count. You are a lie and a half. That's why you were sitting at home. But I mean, because I think the Patriots ended up being the third seed?
I think were they 2?
Yeah, knocked them down. Well, that's the thing about it is that loss to Miami took away the bye week. So they had to play the extra game, and then they ran into that steamroller that they called Derrick Henry and Tennessee.
And then Ryan Tannehill
with his 63
yards. And they gave him remember this, Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill, 63 yards in the so what do we say was a combined 285 yards in what, 3 playoff games? Yeah,
sounds about right.
Yeah.
And y'all paid him almost $30 million a year, and y'all franchise tag Derrick Henry. What the matter with y'all? But yeah, okay, Rodney. Yes, the Miami Miracle. Oh yeah, that was a beautiful thing.
Well,
that was
the best plays of all time. Trey Dizzle, what's going on, baby? He said my favorite Tom Brady moment was when he went to the Buccaneers and sucked so bad. All my theories about him being good due to the terrible AFC East and Belichick were proven. Be live.
He's seeing into the future.
Trey Dizzle, you got a crystal ball, man. You want to tell us?
He's going Michael J. Fox with him. He's seeing into the future. Okay. Future shade. I'll tell you what, that is something else. I haven't gone to those lengths yet, but I mean, yeah, I have actually. Let me stop lying. I think I've said the same things, but yeah, he's like, that's my favorite memory of him. It hasn't even happened yet, but it's gonna be a memory. It's gonna be funny. Trey Dizzle coming through in the clutch as always.
Over here. All right, man. Here we go. Mike Canole. I had to tag him because he's from the Boston area. He's a Patriots fan, also a wrestling fan. So I had to hear what he had to say. He said, all right, Eddy Kool, since I'm such a huge Patriots fan, here we go. I'll give you 4 moments to discuss in order by year. The first one was the 2004 AFC Championship game against Pittsburgh. 2 long bombs to Deion Branch. That was the first game. He really put the team on his back and carried them to the Super Bowl. Number 2, we have to go with the entire 2007 season. But if I had to pick one moment from that year, it's the Giants' regular season finale. That game wound up being a shootout. I remember that. It might have been a shootout. He was ready to set the record for touchdown passes, and he went back to Moss after he dropped one in the game earlier. Same play, and both set all-time receiving, passing, and touchdown records. Number 3, when they beat the Seahawks in Super Bowl 49. Coming off the Flakegate, the previous week, no one knew how we performed, and he goes out with 4 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers, overcoming a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter to beat the mighty Seahawks, Legion of Boom. LOB. Matter of fact, happy belated birthday to Richard Sherman. Lastly, I have to throw in one of those losses. Hey, since we lost 3 Super Bowls, and that definitely put on his resume. And he said Super Bowl versus the Eagles, and then he said he throws for 505 yards in an almost flawless performance outside of that strip sack late in the fourth quarter. Still a Hail Mary away from tying the game on the last play, and ring number 6, of course. The struggle fest that was that Super Bowl. Oh my God, it was a bad Super Bowl. Their last when they played 13 and out. What the hell is this? Winning ugly. So yeah, Mike Canole gave us a lot. He gave us a lot.
Oh shoot! I woke up. My bad.
Whew. All right.
Oh. Oh, 'cause Lord, we asked for one. We asked for one. You see, you don't listen. Yes, we get you're a fan, but we asked for one. Now I'm looking at my clock over here. You done took up 10 minutes of airtime, and usually we charge people for that. I mean, a 30-second commercial for Super Bowl, and doesn't that go for like for
Yeah,
2.2
2.2.
million?
Yeah.
So we'll send you a bill in the mail for you taking up so much of our airtime, sir, because you don't listen.
Hey man,
You're hard headed.
this episode of the Sports Bros Podcast is sponsored by Mike Cano for taking up 10 whole minutes of the Sports Bros Podcast. You want to hit Mike Cano up? Check him up on Facebook. And I just gave him a free plug. So now we got to charge you double.
We got to have it.
We got to have it. Some of us ain't working, all right? Damn you, COVID-19.
Right. Facts.
All right, so here we go. We got a good one here, man. Martin Tracy, a little emotional, a little inspirational. Check it out. He said, my story is about the powerful influence of Tom Brady and the Patriots nation that in a few continuation of last week's thing transcends beyond the football field as well. Okay, so we're going back to go forward. Got you. As you might be aware, a few weeks ago, my daughter was admitted to the hospital. When arriving, we had to fill out usual paperwork. I used the ACA for insurance for my family, also known as Obamacare. January, I was informed that they were dropping my daughter based on my salary, and I was told I'd apply for Medicare for insurance needs, so I did, and heard nothing. So now at the hospital, I had to call Horry County Medicaid to see if I had coverage. They told me I was denied, so I had to call ACA and tell them. They tell me to get a denial letter from South Carolina Medicaid so I get an exemption and reapply within 4 days deadline to get back on the ACA. I called Medicaid to ask them to email my denial paperwork. They don't email. I'm not surprised. So I got to go to Conway. This is all South Carolina. The gatekeeper there, the gatekeeper there tells me I need to see a caseworker, but can't today. Meanwhile, his daughter's being transported to Columbia. I tell her that I need it today. She's looking at the screen, and I'm just like, in the print, it's out. He's like, print out. It's denial work. What are you talking about? He can't wait. So he's sitting in a crowded room, tears streaming down his face, not knowing what to do, not going on with his daughter. Let's see. Ready to. So he's ready to explode, ready to lose his mind. The administrator walks through and sees my free Tom Brady T-shirt and Patriots hat. She says, I like your shirt. Where are you from? They have a conversation. And let's say to make a long story short, he was able to get what he needed thanks to the influence of a Tom Brady hat and a Tom Brady shirt. And also, for the looks of it, Matty Ice, Martin Tracy, we hope all is well with your daughter. We hope all is well with her. We saw it a while back, so we hope all is well with her. But yeah, just there's a whole lot going on. So that's your greatest Tom Brady story. And that was off the field.
A story like that is why the three of us here at the Sports Bros Podcast, that's why we love sports so much. I mean, the competitive nature is one thing, and we will talk a lot of trash. We will talk, all the facts and stats and opinions and all kinds of stuff about our favorite teams and everything that's going on in the sports world. But our question last week and then this story this week, it transcends sports. And it's why sports is so vitally important to our way of life. And that's why us here at the Sports Bros Podcast, we know there's not much going on. There's very little going on in the world of sports. But we will not stop. We'll find the smallest story and talk about it, because you never know. If it's not for that one person, there's one person out there that hears our story, hears our podcast, and like, you know what? This is something good to hear, and I'm going to keep going. These guys are silly as hell, but you know what? I enjoy listening to them, and it gives me a laugh and a chuckle and gives me the desire to keep pressing on. A free Brady t-shirt lightens up the mood of the doctor and Matty Ice and helps his daughter out. A t-shirt. That is something that is so powerful, and it's something that warms my heart. And Matty Ice, you a fool, and we love you for it. But this is a great story, and our prayers and our thoughts are always with you, man. And no doubt, we definitely appreciate you sharing that with us.
To the Choices of Voices Hall of Fame is Martin Tracy with a wonderful story. Wonderful story, man. Hey, man, you get what you need. Hey, you never know. You never know, man. All depends on what you might have on. Might start up a conversation as it did in this case. He was able to get his paperwork expedited, and now everything is. He said he got a retroactive back to January. He hugged her, and lead a bit with his family. He said since then, let's see, my daughter's at the hospital, and well, let's hope the young lady gets well soon, Matty Ice. Let's hope she gets well soon. All right, Be Live. What is your favorite Tom Brady moment? Look.
All right. Well,
how you feel about Tom Brady?
Yeah. Yep. And so, as you were just listening, and of the feel good story and everything about that, well, that's not how I operate. All right. You know, I'm gonna say what I say, and I feel what I feel about. Yeah. It was a great story. My favorite Tom Brady moment, it was mentioned slightly because we were talking about that season where the Patriots went 16-0. These guys steamrolled through the league. Randy Moss broke records. Tom Brady broke all the records until they got to the Super Bowl. Oh, Super Bowl 42. The New England Patriots were favored by 12 points. I believe that's the second largest spread in Super Bowl history, second only to the greatest show on turf, the St. Louis Rams, favored by 14 points over the New England Patriots. But yeah, the Patriots were supposed to beat the brakes off of the New York Giants. You were talking about Tom Brady versus Eli Manning. Come on. Tom Brady, Eli Manning, the resume speaks for itself. Randy Moss versus Plaxico Burress. Really? Randy Moss? Yeah. Straight
versus
cash.
The dude that shot himself in the thigh in the club.
Right.
Cut him off.
So you're telling me that the heroes of Super Bowl 42 were Eli Manning, David Tyree, and Plaxico Burress? The helmet catch, the comeback 35 seconds ago, and I want to be right alongside the 1972 Dolphins with a cigar in hand, celebrating, popping bottles, because nobody's touching the 72 Dolphins. The Patriots' ego was deflated on that day, and it was a beautiful thing. And that's my most memorable Tom Brady moment.
All right, B-Live, yes, you speak of those highly favored Rams. In Super Bowl 36, Scotty D's choice, his choice of Tom Brady memory was when Tom Brady led the quarterback in his first Super Bowl, which was Super Bowl 36, where the Rams were favored by 14 points. All right. That's the year where Drew Bledsoe got hurt, Tom Brady stepped in, and he caught fire, and they pretty much put a screeching halt to the greatest show on turf. And Tom Brady wins his first Super Bowl of 6 against the St. Louis Rams. Man, that Rams team was loaded. They were loaded. I don't know if they played any defense. They didn't have to play any defense. They didn't need to play any defense. Just stand there waving hands in the air. Okay, cool. Meanwhile, you got Kurt Warner. You got Isaac Bruce. You got Torrey Holt. You got Marshall Faulk in the backfield. Like, they're back there lighting it up. Mike Martz is the coach. I mean, they were just on fire. I think at the time they scored a league record 536 points, and I think the Panthers tied it or got close to it, if I'm not mistaken.
No. It wasn't the Panthers. No, I as much as I want that to happen, I wanted to say it was the year I was just talking about
Okay,
with the Patriots.
might have been them. Okay, might have been them because I think it was Rams number 1, Patriots number 2, and the Panthers were in there somewhere. Because they was blowing the doors off everybody too that year. Yep. So that was a good game because I was right here telling everybody, yeah, man, the Patriots, they ain't got no business being in the Super Bowl. They ain't got no business being there. So I was like, yeah, the Rams gonna win. Rams gonna win, and then the Rams let me down, and then 1 of 6 for Tom Brady. So that's the Money Man Scotty D's choice. My favorite Tom Brady moment was replayed on Fox. Some of y'all call it, was it Super Bowl 51, Brian, with the Falcons? Some of y'all call it Super Bowl 51, but I call it How to Lose a Super Bowl, starring the Atlanta Falcons, featuring Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and the New England Patriots. All right, so let me reset the scene for you again. The largest comeback in the history of the world, Craig, in the history of the Super Bowl. So the Falcons, they get a pick 6, they put points up on the board, and they're up big. 28-3 in halftime. 28-3 going into halftime. But you know that evil genius Bill Belichick and that damn Tom Brady, that's more than enough. Not more than enough. That's more than enough time for them to formulate a plan to come back and win the game. They came out there, the defense tightened up, and then they scored 6 points in the third quarter. Then they come right back and score 19 in the fourth quarter to tie it up. And then guess what happens after that? A little dump past James White in overtime. Boom. Game over. Yes. I think out of all of the Super Bowl victories, I think that one really cements Tom Brady's legacy. Like the legacy game, it would have to be Super Bowl 51 to go out there and orchestrate the largest comeback in the history of the Super Bowl. That's some big time stuff, man. So that's when, I didn't want to say I never had respect for Brady, but once he did that, and I was like, you know what? I got to give it up to him. I got to. I had no choice. I got to. He's one of a kind, man. As a matter of fact, earlier this week, there's a lot of great NFL content. Like right now, they got some full games on YouTube. I watched the game between the Panthers and the Patriots. I think the most recent game, where the Patriots lost to the Panthers at home in Foxborough. But it was a great game. And you would never think that you would see Cam Newton on another team and Tom Brady on another team going into this upcoming season. So think about it. Tom Brady he was the last pick of the draft. He was slow. He just didn't he wasn't highly favorable. So I guess the name of the documentary is called The Brady Six. We had quarterbacks such as T. Martin, Giovanni Carmazzi, I forgot the Mark Bolger, and you had a handful of quarterbacks that all went before Tom Brady. But guess what though? Giovanni Carmazzi, he flamed out. Mark Bolger was serviceable for a long time. And now T. Martin is like the wide receiver coach at Kentucky. All right. And so you have all that going on, but Tom Brady somehow found a way to, you know what? If you just give me a chance, and I'll show you what I can do. And it dates back to him, his Michigan playing days. It just pretty much shows how Brady had to work and fight for everything he got. Wasn't really recruited that highly touted coming out of high school. Then he went to Michigan. He had to fight for everything there. And then local hero Drew Henson, who also played baseball and football, he had to fight for time and opportunity between that. And it was a point where Tom Brady would start the game, and then Lloyd Carr, former Michigan Wolverines coach, would have Drew Henson coming in, I guess, just to satisfy him and give him playing time. So that way he wouldn't transfer. I get it. I understand. So to make a long story short, Tom Brady had to go clean up Drew Henson's mess. And to see Tom Brady in the early stages of his football career, like learning how to game plan properly, get everything together, and lead a comeback. I mean, they would say he's a film rat. He's a student of the game. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't start playing football until the 10th grade. So for him to do this and just eat, sleep, and breathe it, like, I got no respect for the dude, man. Nothing but respect for the dude. Even though he had a hand to beat my Carolina Panthers in the Super Bowl.
No, that's not necessary.
Highly Un-Narcessary. Name of the show, Highly Un-Narcessary, right there. I got to give it up to Tom Brady, man. Got to give it up to Tom Brady, man. It's just it's just this past year, we seen what happened, when you don't have the adequate help. I mean, think about it. As far as wide receivers, the greatest he's had is Randy Moss, Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, and then he had some dude named Kimbrell Tompkins. Yeah, Kimbrell Tompkins. So Brady took a situation where he didn't have much and he made the most of it. And next thing you know, here he is, about to be 43 years old, 6 Super Bowls, a bunch of records, and about to have a new team. It's like, he been with this little thing for a long time. Did commit this new little hot thing down there in Florida. Oh, let me go ahead and see what this here thing about you. Let me go out here and give me some gold teeth with some Florida dreads and everything and see what life is about. So it's going to be real interesting to see what Tom Brady does this upcoming season. Whew, that was a long-winded one, be live. I didn't expect to go that long about Tom Patrick Michael Brady, if that's his real name.
But yeah, no. I agree with you. I have to throw some haterade in there, but you know what? He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. All right.
So we want to give a big shout out to. Let me get the screen together here. Usually I have it together. Give a big shout out to Mark, Katie, Craig, Rodney, Trey Dizzle, Mike Canole, and Martin Tracy for their participation in this week's edition of the Choices of the Voices. All right. What we're going to do next week, be live for the Choices of the Voices.
Nice. Since we're talking about the GOAT, greatest of all time, Tom Brady was this week. Next week, we're going to switch over to basketball. What is your greatest memory, your most memorable moment of Michael Jordan's career? What pops up when you think of Michael Jeffrey Jordan? And if you want to throw in baseball when it comes to him, hey, feel free. Do what it do.
Yes, sir. But I digress. Yep. So Michael Jordan, moments of the GOATs. I think we got a little GOAT thing going on here, man. So, next week's edition of Choice of the Voices, your memorable moment, top moment or moments of the one, the only, his heiress himself, Michael Jeffrey Jordan from North Carolina. I'm sorry, I got.
Yeah. You already knew it. Man. You already knew it. And I'm gonna throw out there real quick. So, the highest scoring offense in NFL history, the 2013 Denver Broncos.
Yeah, ain't that the year Peyton threw for 50 touchdowns too?
Oh yeah. And then they turn around and lose in the Super Bowl to the Seahawks 43-8.
Man, you know what?
This is why they say defense wins championships, because great day. Every time you have the number one scoring offense, that includes my beloved Panthers in 2015, which they're actually much further down. I remember they led the league that year, but it was only they averaged like 31 points a game. Like this year, the Denver Broncos averaged over 37 points a game. Oh yeah, that was ridiculous. And yeah, Peyton Manning was doing his thing dizzle. And if I'm not mistaken, was that? I'm trying to think of who was who they had. They had was that the year they had? That was Emmanuel Sanders was on that team.
He was there.
Emmanuel Sanders. Who?
C.J. Anderson was there.
Oh man, and Emmanuel Sanders. I remember he was the number 2 wide receiver. I cannot remember who their lead wide receiver was that year.
Was Brandon Stokely on there?
Brandon Stokely was on that team, but he was number 3. Once I see it, I'm going to lose my mind because I know was that
Demarius
was it
Thomas.
Brandon Demarius? God bless America. Yeah, Demarius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, freaking Brandon Stokely. Oh, and Wes Welker was on that team
Welker
too.
Was on that team. Oh.
Yep. So Jesus, that team was loaded. Patriots were number 2. I think St. Louis at the end of the day was number 5. Minnesota was number 3. Minnesota.
That's the year they went 15-1 and choked in the playoffs too, right?
Yep.
You know what, man? Like you said, B-Live, they go to the old notion that defense does win championships. Because like I said, whenever you get the number 1 offense versus the number 1 defense, let me tell you something. That game, B-Live, that Super Bowl, it was over with before it started. As soon as that ball went over Peyton Manning's head, I'm like, this ain't good. This is not good. This ain't good. Right. This is not good. Like, because you think like, okay, maybe they can bounce back from that, but I'm like, you know what, man, this no. Because like, how many Super Bowls? That's like the first play of the game, right? The first play of the game, okay, you got the Seahawks, number 1 defense, the Broncos, number 1 offense. I'm like, oh Lord, Peyton Manning gonna do his thing, and there's the ball.
And what?
And they just never recovered from that, man. And then that 2013 Seahawks, man, they were just riding that wave, man. They were riding that wave.
That was the Legion of Boom.
Cam Chancellor, who was it? Byron Maxwell,
Richard Sherman.
Cam Chancellor, they were loaded, and so and they were knocking heads off too. And then of course you got Bobby Wagner and Bruce Irvin, and not to mention Michael Bennett on the front line. I think Meebane was up there, so they had a loaded team. And man, that game was over before it started. I looked at my brother Mike. I said, it's going to be over with, right? I'm like, it's going to be over with. That's the only other time I've ever worked Super Bowl. I told my boss, I said, look, I'm going to give you Sunday morning, but Sunday night, you forget about it, cuz. You can forget all the way about it.
Right.
So, so that's it for this week's edition of Choices of the Voices, and we gave you some bonus football talk. The damn Denver Broncos, Demarius Thomas, Wes Welker, and Brandon Stokely, and Emmanuel Sanders. Okay, they were fully loaded. All right, we are giving ourselves the go-home cue. It's going to be a 2-man edition of Pepper. You know how we do it. 3 topics, kind of sort of rapid fire style. But I'm going to call an audible on my Pepper points. Since today is March the 31st, I will give you this day in history in the world of sports. But B-Live going to keep it regular as is. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to start first. My first Pepper point. On this day in 1976, the Cleveland Cavaliers defeated the New Orleans Jazz in New Orleans to clinch their first ever playoff berth. I know you're thinking the New Orleans Jazz. Yes, the Utah Jazz have not always been in Utah. They were New Orleans. So this is New Orleans' second time having a basketball team, and hopefully they can keep them, because you can't take the Pelicans and move them to another part of the state, because then it would not make any sense. Yep, so the Cavs defeat the Jazz to clinch the first ever playoff berth this day in 1976. Over you, B-Live.
Think about it. Utah, Mormons, Jazz, doesn't make any sense. Anyway. Right. All right. For my first Pepper point, I'm becoming a fan of this eNASCAR Pro Invitational iRacing series. It's competitive. It might be video games, but hey, it's something to watch on Sunday. I've never really been a big NASCAR fan, but it's definitely something to watch for. Exactly. Timmy Hill survived an overtime restart to win this past Sunday's race at a virtual Texas Motor Speedway. Dale Earnhardt Jr., he finished second the week prior. He placed sixth this past Sunday. So Dale Earnhardt Jr., he said, hey, I'm gonna carry the name on technology and all
he
of
fit to
that.
be an esports iRacing GOAT. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So he's doing his thing, Dizzle. But congrats to Timmy Hill, and I'm going to be watching next week as well. They're gonna keep it going. I'm gonna keep watching. Eddy Kool,
all right.
The Ball.
My second paper point: this day in history, back in 1996, Anaheim, California, WrestleMania 12. Shawn Michaels defeats Bret the Hitman Hart for the WWF WWE World Heavyweight title. It was where the boyhood dream has finally come true for the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels came down in a zip line, and they had an Iron Man match where it went to overtime, and Shawn Michaels prevailed in the end to become the WWF World Heavyweight Champion. Who boy, stark contrast for this upcoming WrestleMania. 2 days of free tapes and no people in the audience. Oh, man, it would have been nice to see it in Tampa Bay. It would have been, think about it. You would have had WrestleMania in Tampa Bay and Tom Brady. City would have been going crazy. But damn you, COVID-19, you do it to us again. But that was this day in history. Shawn Michaels defeat Bret Hart at WrestleMania 12 for the World Heavyweight title. Over to you, B-Live.
Oh, man, that reminds me when you said WWF, WWE, that the conglomerate that was Vince McMahon and World Wrestling lost to the World Wildlife
Bears
Federation.
And pandas and tigers.
And had to change their name, man. But hey, I think WWE fits a lot better. I think it fits. It's good to go. All right. So this past week was a very, very somber and sad day because for all of the baseball enthusiasts, March 26th was the slated day for opening day where, and that it's such a build up. Everybody's waiting. It is America's pastime for a reason. Starts off 162 games, but because of COVID-19, baseball did not start. And so there were 29 teams out there that were very sad. They were very upset about that. The one team that's happy about the season being postponed would be the Houston Astros.
Why would they be happy, B-Live?
Because guess what? By this time, if the season would have started on time, the Houston Astros batters would have been hit around 22 times from various pitchers because nobody likes the Astros at this point in time. So Houston Astros take solace in the fact that this season has been delayed because you guys suck. Eddy Kool,
B-Live, since you made a statement about opening day, last night, sometimes I get on a Wikipedia. If I'm not on a YouTube bender, I'm on a Wikipedia bender. And as of late, I've been absorbing a whole lot of useless information. All right, B-Live, since you mentioned about how opening day is pretty much PPD'd until further notice, this COVID-19 has a big effect with it, of course. And it's a really big deal in Cincinnati. Cincinnati is the epicenter when it comes to opening day. It's a ritual where people don't go to school. They shut the town down, and it's just opening day. They enjoy baseball. But this year is different. It's just another Thursday, unfortunately. And they're losing a lot of money, man. A lot of the industry suffers, and, it's just bad. It's just bad. I read an article on Sports Illustrated, and this guy just said, I just got done painting the basement. I absolutely love my job and wish we were still here playing baseball. It's not like a 9-to-5 job. Every day is different. I can tell you 12 hours at the ballpark go by a lot faster than 12 hours sitting in my house. And that comes from a Sports Illustrated article entitled Cincinnati is Just Thursday. Yeah, so that just goes to show the effect of opening day. You know, how Houston be like, you know what? Whew, we ain't got to get plunked. So there's 50 pitches we can get plunked. Otherwise, cities like Cincinnati, they got to suffer. So that's those little tidbit I want to pass on to y'all. Moving along to my third and final pepper point. This day in 1973, Bobby Orr of the Boston Bruins scored his third career hat trick in a 7-3 loss against the Toronto Maple Leafs to become the first player in NHL history to score 100 points for 4 straight seasons. In history, think about it. 1, 2, 3. This man scored 400 points 4 consecutive seasons. Oh, yeah, he was a defenseman, by the way. Yeah. The GOAT. Boston's own. Bobby Orr. Over to you, B-Live.
All right. To finish off this pepper situational. Man, oh, man. Eric Reed has made news again. The conspiracy theorist himself, Eric Reed, between the extra drug test he had to take all last year, and now he is calling for a revote to the collective bargaining agreement. Because, and I mean, hey, it might be validated, because he says that what they read before they voted and what was written after the vote was completed, they said that there was language added to the collective bargaining agreement after the vote was set. And so, according to Reed's lawyers, said language posted on the Players Association website after passage of the agreement contains language different from the one that the player signed off on. So, this could be very, very interesting. This will be what some of the media outlets would say a developing story. And as more information comes to pass, we here at the Sports Bros podcast will be more than glad to give you said information as it comes in. But yeah, I was like, Jesus, Eric Reed again. But hey, I shall read more into this, because this popped up on my headlines earlier today, and I'm like, oh, this would be a very good little spicy little pepper point and a way to close out this session.
That's it. And with that being said, they're giving me the go-on cue. We finna get up out of here because B-Live, I am hungry. Monday Night Raw is on, so we're going to try to make some goodness out of this day here. My name is Eddy Kool, a.k.a. the HOC here at the Sports Bros podcast. And you can reach me at the house on the couch. No, actually, you can reach me Facebook. You can reach me on the Sports Bros podcast like page, and check me out on all of the Sports Bros podcast social network media outlet platforms that B-Live will mention. Also, you catch me on Instagram, Cool Season, all one word. You can check me out on Snapchat if you still do that. That will be Super Cool 5000. Super Cool, all one word, and the number 5000. That's 5000. Not 50,000, but 5,000. See how good 5,000 roll off the tongue? And yeah, if you want to holler at us, check us out. Say something to us. And as always, nope, I'm not going to end the show. I'm playing around, B-Live. Not yet. I was about to say something, but I forgot. Oh, I found it.
Right.
Continue to listen. Continue to support us. Hey, just don't like the link. Give us a listen. Let us know. Give us some feedback. We're open to it. We're not closed-minded because for me and B-Live to be working in the restaurant industry, we ain't got nothing to do till the 30th of from a month from today. So we got plenty of time to make improvements. All right, B-Live, over to you.
Oh, yeah. Let me talk to the people real quick before you cut me off. All right, that boy. You can find us, the Sports Bros podcast, on our multiple social media platforms. On Twitter, you can find us at Sports Bros PCast. On Instagram, you can find us at Sports Bros Podcast. If you have any comments, questions about the show, anything you might want to add to the show, you can hit us up via email at sportsbrospcast@gmail.com. If you want to learn a little bit more about the Sports Bros, we just published our bios on sportsbrospodcast.wordpress.com, and we're going to continue to work on that, add a couple opinion and blog stories on there as well about the sports or the lack thereof. I would also like to take this time, my Instagram and Twitter, just be your boy B Live, THSBEYABOYBLIVE. I'm not that important, but check this out. I definitely want to give a quick shout out, feel good story to my man Weldon Boyd. He works at Buoys on the Boulevard, where our sports bro, the money man Scotty D, does trivia there on Mondays. If I believe it's at 6:05.
Damn you,
it won't be
COVID-19.
right now because of COVID-19, but right. But definitely want to give a quick shout out to them. And I will read it too. I'll read as best as I can real quick. He posted this on Facebook. It says, and this goes out to our people in our hometown of North Myrtle Beach. Attention, North Myrtle Beach. I know people are having a hard time finding meats and other items. I have placed an order for 800 pounds of chicken breast, 225 dozen fresh eggs, and toilet paper. These items will arrive sometime tomorrow. I believe he's speaking about the 26th. So it might be very limited at this point in time, but I still want to at least read the story out to you. And once they are here, we'll be selling to the public at dirt cheap prices. I promise to sell these cheaper than anywhere else, and I will have enough for everyone. Please spread the word and follow Buoys on the Boulevard to know when the items will be available. Hoping to start selling tomorrow afternoon. Spread the word tomorrow afternoon, speaking of the 26th. But Buoys on the Boulevard, I think that is an outstanding gesture to the community, something that could definitely help out, because for whatever people are panic buying toilet paper, which still has nothing to do with the COVID virus, but I guess maybe they're using toilet paper to sneeze into, which whatever. But anyway, I'd like to take this moment. Buoys on the Boulevard, BUOYS on the Boulevard. You can locate them. Their address is 93 South Ocean Boulevard, North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina 29582. That's right in the heart of Ocean Drive. So you can look them up. Their menu, buoysontheboulevard.com. Buoys on the Boulevard. You can look them up on Facebook. Phone number for them is 843-663-0330. Definitely check them out and see if they're able to help you during this time of need with the COVID-19 pandemic. I definitely greatly appreciate what they're doing for the hometown and for the community. And there's a lot of people that are definitely doing the right thing and helping out and in this time of need. So I definitely want to give them a quick shout out. Thank you very much.
All right. Also, y'all know anybody that's
Buoys
doing
on the Boulevard. Yes,
similar
sir.
to what Buoys is doing. We don't care what part of the country you're at. Drop us a line. Let us know. Inbox us. That way we can spread the word. And because we all got to get through this together. We all got to get through this together. And shout out to the businesses that are staying open and doing carry out only. And shout out to the Door Dashers, the pizza people, delivery drivers. Throw them an extra couple dollars if you got it. Because you have to understand, these people are ensuring that you don't have to go out the house to get your food. We're giving you door front service. They're giving you non-contact options. Throw them a couple extra dollars. I'm just saying. I'm not telling you what to do, but you know how I say, you do something nice for yourself, do something for somebody else. They'll greatly appreciate it because, hey, we are all in this together. We will be back better than ever. There will be more sports. I know you folks are in the house going stir crazy. To all you folks gathering, 10 or more people, you're not practicing social distancing. That's okay. I ain't mad at you. May the good Lord be with you. But as for me, hey, look, I ain't gonna be right like that if I ain't got to. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be healthy. Trying not to bring nothing back to my house. And just trying to live to see another day and give y'all another action-packed episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. And then in closing, do something nice to yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. That has a whole lot more meaning now, more than ever. And they'll greatly appreciate it. It's been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast.